All right, I'm just gonna share this over to the group. Wrong way, Cassie. There you go. I'm gonna see what this would look like if we were up a little higher. There we go. All right, I'm gonna share this and then we shall get going. All right. Live now. There we go. Alrighty, so I'm gonna leave Facebook open, so hopefully it doesn't ding like crazy and annoy us. But I want to get the questions that I know will come in. So here we go. Okay, ready? So I have something super exciting to share today, and this is something that happened yesterday, and I think it's really important to mention as well that when you're out there looking for clients, and I don't mean like desperately hunting for clients and like, oh my god, I need to find a client, because then you're going to put off the wrong energy altogether. But really it's just getting out there in the right way, being yourself, sharing your message on a consistent basis. That's really what's going to bring in the clients. And so something that I learned recently, actually yesterday, which is what I'm going to talk about today, it really kind of proved to me that if you can show up 100% as yourself, and you don't sugarcoat things, you don't put on a front, you don't try to be somebody that you're not, then it's really fucking easy to get clients, and get clients that are essentially your dream clients, right? Like they're the people that you actually want to work with, because it really is easy to go out there and just drum up a bunch of business and just get a ton of clients, right? It's actually very simple. And if you follow the step-by-step strategies that you'll find all over the internet through multiple different channels, you'll find that it actually is very simple to get clients. However, what usually happens if you go this route is you undercharge. And when you're undercharging, what happens is you end up resenting your clients most of the time, and you also put out work that isn't necessarily your best because you're so resentful and because you feel like you're not getting paid what you deserve. And so I think the biggest lesson from that is, number one, don't undercharge. Number two, stop attracting the people that you don't want to be attracting into your business, because when you do that, then you start getting people that get on your nerves and really make you just want to go crazy. And I mean, that's what's happened to me multiple different times, because like when I first started my coaching business, because I just wanted to get clients, I was like, I need clients. I don't know why I needed clients so badly, but I needed clients. I had to get clients. I'm gonna shut this because it's driving me crazy. Hold on. All right, there we go. No more glare. And so what I learned from that was that I really hated working with at least half of my clients at that time, because either A, they had paid a price that I wasn't actually happy with. I just put it out there because I wanted to bring in more clients and bring in a large amount of cash really quickly. So I would sell packages for like, 3-month mentorships that were normally, or 4 months, sorry, that were normally $5,000 at the time. And I was selling them for like $2,500, $3,000, $3,500, whatever the client was willing to pay, really, because I was like, I just need to bring in the money. And it was kind of that scarcity mindset where I was, I guess, not believing that it was possible to get clients at the price point I really believed I deserved for the work that I was putting in, So I I ended up resenting half my clients. I fired a bunch of them. I was like, listen, I can't do this anymore. I'm not the right person for you. Go to this person instead, right? So I would give them somebody else to go to, but ultimately I wasn't the right person for them. And I learned that the hard way. And so that's kind of the whole point of really being yourself online and charging the prices you want to be charging and putting yourself out there in a way that is completely authentic and completely in line with who you are as a person and who you are as a business owner, because that's essentially what you are, as a business owner as well. And so this is something that really, I mean, I've been doing this for a while, like showing up as myself, being 100% myself. And it's something that I preach all the time, like, don't fake it. Don't be somebody you're not. Don't tiptoe on, around certain issues that you really want to like scream at people about and just get in their face about. Don't try to hide that, and don't try to, be who you think that people want you to be, because ultimately they want you to be you. That's exactly why they're following you. That's exactly why, they're reading your emails or reading your posts on Facebook or whatever. That's why they're following you, and that's why they're a fan of yours, right? So you have to be yourself. And so I learned this yesterday. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory. So I've been doing a series of podcast interviews, and I've spoken to a lot of different men and women on these podcasts where they were asking questions, and they were asking me about how I worked, what my packages were, what my money situation looked like, how I found clients, how I created content, like all of this stuff, right? And so yesterday I had an interview with somebody that I've done an interview with in the past, actually like a week prior. We did 2 back-to-back. And this is somebody who, from the moment I first spoke to her with our first interview, I was like, she totally gets it. Like everything I was saying, she was like, yes, that's so true. That's so good. That's so right. And I was like, she just gets it. She totally is one of us. And she is in the same zone that we are. And, wouldn't it be so amazing if, I could work with her in some way, like we could collaborate some way or whatever. And so yesterday we had our interview, and it was all about the financial side of business, because it's something that's, glossed over a lot, where people are like, yeah, I'm making $100,000 a month, but really I'm spending like $90,000 a month or something, right? So we talked all about the money side of business, expenses, and where the money was coming from, what types of products and services bring that money in, what were the biggest expenses, like all of that stuff, right? So all the important stuff around money. And so we chatted about that for about, I don't know, I want to say like half an hour or so. And then after the interview was over and, she ended it, and then she came back, she was like, so I want to hear more about how I could work with you, right? Like not in those exact words, but basically that was the gist of it. And at first I was like, okay. I completely caught off guard. I was like, I was very confused, because to be honest with you, when I was doing this interview yesterday, I felt like I totally bombed it. Like it was like every question she asked me, I felt like I like stumbled over my words, and there's even times when she would ask me a series of questions and I would answer the first one, but then I would have like forgotten what the next one that she had asked me. And so I just didn't answer it. And then as soon as like I just shut my mouth, I was like, shit, I forgot to answer that other question. And I was answering questions that she didn't even ask me. And it was just like, in my head, it was a complete disaster. I was like, this is the worst fucking interview I've ever done. Like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I get my words straight? Why can't I listen properly? Why can't I like take notes or something so I remember what questions to even answer here? And so I felt like at the end of the call, she was just going to be like, oh my God, that chick is a mess. And so when she asked like how she could work with me, I was so confused. I was like, well, but didn't you just hear that I like totally fucked up that interview for you? Like I totally screwed that up. Why would you want to work with me? And, you know, so of course I gave her the information and all that she asked for, and we are going to be working together because we are, I'm telling you, the two of us together, some serious fucking magic is about to happen. So if she's watching, you know who you are, and we're about to kick some serious ass. So what I learned from this, like I realized this after the interview, after we hung up together, after we finished speaking, what I realized, I kind of sat there for a minute and I was like, what just happened? Like, how did that happen? And I kind of just sat there for a minute and I realized she hired me, or she asked about hiring me, because she liked me and she believed in my overall message and my mission. And she really resonated with who I am as a person. And she even said that to me, but it didn't really, you know, click at the time when she was asking me these questions. So it made sense to me after, and I was like, oh, she just, you know, she really got me. And then I realized, you know, well, yeah, that's, of course, like I was saying that to myself earlier as well, right? That like, oh my God, we have the same, you know, beliefs, and she totally gets it. And so I had to kind of convince myself of that later. I was like, well, duh, Cassie, of course she wants to work with you. She's like totally the same person as you in terms of beliefs and how you work, and you know, your overall message and vision and stuff that you want to share with the world. And so of course she would say that. And so that's really, you know, the whole reason I'm doing this live stream is because I wanted you to know that when you are 100% you and you show up as you, that even when you feel like you've totally fucked something up, whether that's an interview or it's a live stream or a video or even a post that you've written or an email you've sent out, even if you feel like, God, that was total shit, like what was I thinking, that was awful, I could have done so much better, you are going to impact at least one person. At least one person is going to come back to you and be like, that was amazing. That was exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for saying those things, whatever, right? You're going to impact at least one person. It happens to me every time. And it wasn't just this one instance, but it was also with, you know, I've done it before with posts that I've put out there where, you know, I always have to write, right? Like I always have to write out whatever it is I'm thinking, even if in my head it doesn't make sense. I'm just like, I have to get this all out, and I have to share my message every single day, no matter what. And so sometimes I'll write and I'll just, you know, I'll push stuff out there, and I don't even really allow myself to go back and reread it, because then I'm like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. And so now it's like I just write and then it's gone, right? I'm just like, push it out there, just get it out there. And every single time I do that, I have somebody who comes back to me and says, thank you so much for saying that. That's exactly what I needed to hear. You know, your words totally spoke to me today, or this is so true, or whatever, right? Like it's going to impact at least one person, no matter how shit you may think it is, or feel that it is, or feel that you did with it. You are going to impact at least one person, but that only happens if you are truly yourself and you're being completely authentic to you, right? So this is really, you know, an important thing that I think a lot of people forget, because when you get into the online space, you're going to find a ton of, you know, different internet marketers or coaches or consultants or whatever, right? And a lot of them are going to say, oh no, this is how you do things. This is how you sell. This is exactly how you create a package. This is exactly, you know, your mindset shit you should be doing every day. This is how you reach out to people and sell. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. This is, right? And there's like step by step by step for each one. And it's like a business in a box. It's like business in a box, really. Like that's really what I'm going to call it here. So if you're going about it that way, where you want to have that perfect little business in a box with a pretty little bow around it, then what's going to happen is you are going to be diluted in that message, right? So people aren't going to actually get the real you. They're going to get the you that you think you need to be putting out there, because that's what everybody is telling you you need to do. You need to go out there and be this person. You need to say this, right? Like I hear this a lot from people that have worked with, you know, like, you know, somebody who helps them write their sales page or something. So copywriters or things like that, right? And they'll say like, oh, well, there's these words that I'm never supposed to say, and here's the words I am supposed to say. Here's the trigger words that will get people to buy and things like that. And I mean, it's just not, it's not true, right? Like, yeah, you might say certain words and maybe ruffle some feathers or maybe get somebody to take action. But ultimately, if it does not sound like you, if you're just writing that and saying certain things because you're told to, but you don't actually feel right saying or doing these things, then it's never going to be long-term for you. It's never going to, you're never going to have that long-term success, really, is what I'm trying to say here. So you have to actually go out there and speak as yourself. What a concept, right? Go out there and just be you, right? Like, I've learned this the hard way. I've gone out there and I've said the things I think I'm supposed to say. I've done the things I'm told that I should be doing, and it never ever works for me long term. Sure, I might get a couple of sales here or there. I may end up with a bunch of clients and make a bunch of money, but eventually it's just going to go away. Right? And you're not going to be able to be consistent with that and keep up with that and really just have fun with your business. Because if right now you're feeling like, oh, well, I have to get on the phone with her, and oh my God, I hate talking to her, and oh, she drives me crazy, or he drives me crazy, or whatever with your clients, and you're also feeling like, oh, I have to write this sales page, or like, here's another example too. Like, I have an amazing Facebook ads manager, Camilla Gornia. If you don't know her, you need to go check her out if you need help with Facebook ads. She's amazing. And so we were kind of brainstorming different ways to increase the memberships in Babes in Biz, which is my membership community. And one of the things that she suggested, and I haven't even told her this, so if she's watching, this is going to be brand new for her. I haven't said anything yet. But one of the things that she suggested that I did was, host a webinar, and then, record the webinar, and obviously have a pitch at the end of the webinar to sell memberships into Babes in Biz. And of course, in theory, great idea. This works for tons of different people. I even have clients that do it. I have some friends that do it as well, or have done it in the past and had great success with it. And I know 100% that if I did this, it would, it would result in a lot more sales to the membership site. I know that. But I've had it on my list to create the webinar outline, to create the slides, to create the landing page where people can go and actually sign up for the webinar for when I do it live the first time. And there was always this resistance where I was like, oh, I just don't feel like it, right? Like, it's the one thing on my list that just stays there. Every day I get to the end of the day, I'm like, oh, didn't do that again, didn't do the webinar again. And I just realized, like, this morning, I was like, I fucking hate webinars. I hate them. Like, I really, really despise webinars. I don't mind being a guest on a webinar, but I don't like to host them. I just hate them so much. Or at least I hate creating, like, the content and shit beforehand. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Because if I did, I'd be faking it, right? Like, it wouldn't really be me. And the work that I would have put out there, those slides and that webinar, would have been complete and utter shit, because I wouldn't have been passionate about it. I wouldn't have been like, oh my God, you guys need to do this and watch this and go here and do this task and get this result or whatever. Like, it just would not have happened. It would not have been very good at all. And I doubt I would have gotten much from it in terms of signups. Like, yeah, I would have probably got a handful of them. But it's not worth it to me to actually go and do that, because I hate doing it. I just hate doing it, and I don't do shit that I hate. So I'm really surprised that I even considered it in the first place. Probably because it is a really great idea, and because I know other people have really great success with it. But it's not for me. At least not right now. Who knows? Maybe like 6 months from now, I'm like, I love webinars, right? They're the best thing ever. And then maybe I'll do a webinar. Right now, I really hate webinars, so we're gonna have to rework that and put that out there in a different way. But I mean, this is what I'm saying, right? Is if you're doing stuff that you're told to do, but you really don't want to do, and you're not being yourself, you're being this person that you think you have to be in order to get clients, make sales, bring in more money, all of that stuff, then it's not going to be something that you can scale and grow and really be happy with. And ultimately, that's my goal, and I'm sure that's your goal as well, is, to create a business that we love that we want to actually work on 24/7 and that we want to put out there and we want to be proud of, right? And that's not going to happen if you're going out there as somebody that you're not, because you think that that's how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be this other person because this other person, this other version of you is what's going to bring in the money. Right? And that's just, it's simply not true. And I know this from experience. I know that every single time I go out there and I say something that really just isn't me, or I do something that just doesn't feel right to me, that doesn't feel authentic to me, every time I do that, it's just, I'm getting comments over here on the live stream. Every single time I do that, it feels really gross. And I'm just like, this is the worst thing ever. Even if I get results from it, even if I make money from it, even if I get clients from it, there's like that resentment in there, whether I'm resenting the clients or I'm resenting myself or I'm resenting, somebody else who I feel like made me do this thing that I didn't want to do, even though ultimately that was me that made that decision. And so it's like, you really have to not just be yourself. I mean, I think that's a given, right? To be yourself, but it's like, be yourself and kind of ignore what everybody else is telling you to do, because especially in this online space, you're going to get people that think they know more than you and act as if they are better than you and say like, oh, well, I got results when I did this. I made more money when I do this, so you should do this too. You should try this over here. You should say this thing here. You should write your post like this, right? Like, you have to actually be you, act as you, but then do things that feel right to you. And that's what a lot of people are not doing. Be yourself and own it. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. So it's just one of those things that I feel like it can't be talked about enough, like to show up and be you and act as you and do things the way you want to do them. It's not talked about enough for some reason. It's always, like, if you look at the stuff that, especially business coaches, if you take a look at, like, go and look at like your Facebook feed, if you follow or you're in like an entrepreneurial Facebook group or something like that, like Babes in Business or another one, or you just follow business coaches, go and take a look through your news feed, like after this live stream. Don't you dare do it right now. And just look at what these business coaches are doing. Just look. And I bet you that what you're going to find is a lot of them are saying 3 ways that I did this, or like I made more money, or 6 ways that you need to, or no, 6 things that you need to do in order to make more money, something like that. Or they'll say how to grow your email list in 24 hours or whatever, right? Like, there's always like shit like this, right? Where it's like, this is how you have to do it. And I think a lot of people will read those things and think, oh, well, if this is how she did it, so I'm gonna go try it. But then tomorrow, you're gonna see somebody else say something similar, but it's gonna contradict what that first person said. So then you're like, oh, well, okay, maybe I'll tie in some of this too, right? And then all of a sudden, like, you're doing all this shit and it's not getting any results, or it's not getting the results that you expected. And that usually happens because you are doing what somebody else is suggesting that you do. And I'm not saying that you never take advice from other people, right? Like, that's the whole point of having a mentor or being a part of a mastermind or a group program or something like that. And it can definitely be really helpful. But what I think is even better is to just kind of act on your intuition and your gut, and always trust your gut and do what feels right to you. So you can have somebody who's telling you, here are 6 ways that you can grow your email list, for example, right? And you can be like, okay, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I can totally do that. That sounds easy. That sounds fun. I'm cool with that. But then the 6th thing, you're like, I don't really feel like that. I don't like doing stuff like that, or whatever. So then you just don't do it. Right? Like, you do 1 to 5 and you ignore number 6. But what a lot of people are doing is they're doing 1 to 6 because they feel like if they don't, then they did it wrong. And if they did it wrong, then, oh my God, they're not going to get the results. They're not going to grow their list. They're not going to make more money. And then, holy shit, everything like blows up in their face. And it just fucks up their whole day. So what I'm trying to say is, if you can really just focus on what you want to do, how you want to do it, when you want to do it, where you want to do it, you're gonna have much greater success doing that than doing 10 things that this other person over here told you to do. So yeah, pay attention to what other people are saying. Yeah, take some guidance from a mentor or a coach or whoever you're working with. But ultimately, you are the one who gets to call the shots. It's your life, it's your business, and you have to be yourself if you want to make money. That's what I learned yesterday when I thought I totally bombed that interview. And then, you know, the woman who interviewed me eventually wanted to work with me one-on-one. So clearly I impressed her, even though I felt like I totally fucked it up. And this is really proven to me like all the time, like pretty much, you know, a couple times a week, maybe even once a day. I put something out there where I'm just like, that could have been better, or oh, that was total shit, or man, I should probably redo this. Nobody's going to understand what I'm talking about. But every time I put that stuff out there anyway, even though in my mind it's not perfect, somebody comes back to me and was like, that was the best thing I've read all day. That was like, keep saying this stuff, keep putting this out there. That was really helpful, right? So when you're creating content, when you're creating free content, paid content, whatever it is you're doing, you have to actually show up as yourself, and you have to put things out there and put specific things out there that feel good to you, stuff that you actually enjoy talking about, things that you enjoy teaching on, things that you enjoy working on. So when you do, then you're attracting not only the ideal clients that you want to work with, that you really want to spend time with and help, but you're also going to get people that come into your circle, your community, and become those raving fans that just buy on repeat, right? Like they're constantly buying from you over and over. They're telling all their friends about you, and they just become a complete raving fan. But that only happens when you show up and you are yourself, and you do the things that feel right to you, and you work or you do things really by your gut. Like you trust your gut. Yeah, you take outside information, but ultimately your gut makes the choice, and you act on that. So that's really what I wanted to share with you today. Just kind of, you know, that one thing that I learned yesterday from that interview. I still can't believe that. I'm so excited to work with this woman. I don't know if she wants me to say her name, so I'm going to keep it private, but you will see her big really soon. So the other thing too, guys, is if you haven't registered yet for the Make Money Being You workshop, make sure you do that. I'll pull up the information here so you know where to go. Okay, so let me get this here for you. All right, so I don't know if you can read that. So this is the URL you want to go to. So CassieHoward.com/MMBY, which is Make Money Being You. So this is where you'll come. So you got all the information here about this workshop that's happening on October the 24th. And really what it is, you know, it's all about how to show up authentically as yourself, and how to profit from being you and from sharing your message, and how to get clear on what your message actually is. So, you know, I'm sharing things like how I went from 5K and 10K months to 20, 30, 50, and even $75,000 months and growing. You know, you're also going to learn the things that I do on a daily basis to make those consistent 30 to 50K months and growing, I should mention. And then of course the strategies and stuff that I do there to get me out there in front of as many people as possible, and really attracting those dream clients that I want to work with as well. And look at these two things. These are my two favorite things that I'm doing for this workshop. So this one here, which is the tasks that you're forgetting to do each day, and how not doing these tasks is actually costing you money. This is a really big one. I can't even stress how many people are doing this and totally fucking it up, totally losing a shitload of money. And it's really, really simple. And then the other thing too, where is it? So this one here. So this is the #1 mindset trick that I use to get out of a funk and bring in money immediately. So I say here, like, I've never shared this before because it's so personal and vulnerable, and it really, really is. And I didn't even really want to share it because I was like, oh my God, this is like so personal. It's like one of those things where you just don't want anybody to know. But at the same time, I do it because or I'm doing it. I mean, I'm sharing it because it really does work. Like, I make money almost instantly when I do this mindset little trick here. So I wanted you guys to know about it because I know that there's going to be times when you do kind of feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? Everything's going wrong, like nothing's working, everything's shit, and you're just feeling completely overwhelmed and not in a good place. And when you do that, you can go down that rabbit hole of feeling like shit, and ultimately your day is gonna end feeling like shit, and then the next day is gonna be shit, and the next day, and the next day. And so you need to get out of that quickly. And so that's like the one mindset trick I'm gonna share as well. So if you want to sign up for this, I'll show you this again. So this is the URL. So it's cassiehoward.com/MMBY right there. And then you just want to click this button here to sign up. Where's my arrow? There she is. So click this button here to sign up, and you'll come to the sign up form there. And then you can get in. And the other thing too is I'm going to be doing, come on. There we go. I'm going to be doing a free like special bonus as well for the first 20 women that register. So make sure you sign up quickly so you can get in on that and get that one-on-one session. So ultimately what I want you guys to realize that's going to happen on this day during this workshop is not just, you know, the mindset tricks, which yes, that's a big part of it, but more so you're going to learn how to package yourself, you and your personality and your message, how to package you and put you out there so that you're ultimately selling yourself anyway, right? Like that's what's for sale. It's not your programs, it's not your packages, it's not the things that you create. It's you and it's your message, and that's really what you need to get across, and that's what you want to sell. And once you get into that place where people are buying you, they're buying into you and your message and your beliefs and how you think and act and breathe. Once they are starting to do that and they start telling their friends about you, who then tell their friends about you and their friends, and so on and so on, then you're going to grow your community so quickly and grow your, you know, your fan base and your client base and all of that really, really fast. This only happens if you can show up authentically as you. And I'm not saying, you know, that you need to just say what you want to say, because yeah, that's part of it, but it's also how to put you out there and profit from you, because a lot of people don't understand. They think they can just go out there and start, you know, spewing shit and make money from it, but ultimately, yeah, that is part of it. Like, you just go out there and say what you want, but there's also strategies around that as well, like how to sell as you, how to create certain things, content paid and free as you, and how to really, you know, put that into a, I don't want to say a package, because it's not really a package. It's more so the overall vibe that people are going to get, and that's what they're buying into. They're buying into the vibe. They want to be surrounded by somebody who thinks the same way they do, who speaks the same way they do, who acts the same way they do, and you want that as well. That's who you want as clients, right? You don't want to be working with somebody who doesn't believe the same things you do, or somebody who, you know, finds you offensive or finds you not professional, God forbid, right? So there are strategies to do that, and that's really going to be a big part of the training as well. Is yeah, the mindset, yeah, the messaging, yeah, the how to be you. I mean, it seems obvious, but it's not for a lot of people. But it's also going to be a lot of strategy as well. So there's a lot of things that you're going to have to do during this workshop so that you can actually go out there and make some real fucking money, right? And do that being you. And the one thing that I started to realize, you know, after I made the decision like over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, where I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop faking it. I'm going to stop being this person that I think I have to be. I'm going to stop doing all this shit that everybody tells me I have to do that I really don't want to do. And I'm just going to start being myself and speaking my truth and being in complete and total and utter alignment with who I am as a person. Then that's really when there was that big, huge magical shift in my business, where not only my income grew, but also the amount of fun I had every day grew as well. So now it's like people will ask me, oh, well, what do you do for a living, right? And it's like, well, I just get paid to be me. Like, I just show up and I open my mouth and people give me money. Like, it really is. That is what happens. I mean, there's a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes that most people don't see, but it's really just being yourself, but knowing how to put yourself and your message out there in a way where you can reach the right people who will then ultimately fall madly in love with you and become your raving fans and buy on repeat over and over and over again. So that's what this workshop is going to be about. So You need to sign up ASAP if you want to get one of those bonuses for the first 20 women. So again, you just want to go to cassiehoward.com/MMBY, and I will post the link in the comments as well when we're done the live stream here. So does anybody have any questions for me around the workshop or around getting paid to be you or anything like that? Let me know. I'll leave it open for a minute or so and see if anybody has questions. I'm just checking the live stream on the Facebook, in the Facebook group, to see if there's questions there. All right. Okay then, guys. So here's the URL again. All right. So you can read it. So cassiehoward.com/MMBY. Go check it out. Go sign up right now while you still have time to get in there for the 20 bonus for the first 20 women. It's going to be pretty sweet and may or may not include private access to me one-on-one. May or may not. It's not going to tell you. So it's really, really good though. So let me know, guys, if you have questions, and I will see you on October 24th for this workshop, Get Paid Being You. Have a good Tuesday. See you later.